You know what? I'm gonna say this one other thing about Sinners and why it makes me say this, that relationships with white people could be a horror in themselves. Because there was a moment in this movie that not only validated something that black women have been talking about for ages, but in my eyes was a catalyst to every other horror happening. So spoiler alert if you haven't seen it already, but it was a scene in the juke joint where Stack was trying to get married, the little white girl, the fuck up out of there. And he says to her, "Do I need to get one of these field bitches to throw you out?" He's talking about black women. He called them field bitches, not just black women, his paying customers, his patrons. These are middle-class black women also, by the way. They're not even sharecroppers or people who work in the field. And he called them field bitches. But what happens next is even more crazy. The fact that he says field bitches and she says right back to him, "I wish one of these field bitches would try to fight me. I could fight because you taught me." And this is a phenomenon that black women talk about all the time. That as soon as a black man is openly disrespectful to black women, it validates the inherent anti-blackness that a lot of white women have and makes them feel like they could be comfortable being disrespectful toward black women too. Because this is a white woman who has proximity to the black community. Her mama, nurse, smoking, stack, and whatever. She is like a 1/8 black or whatever the fuck. She has some proximity to the community. She's not even supposed to be in the juke joint though, because she clearly knows that she is presenting as a white woman. And she has not fraternized with any black people up until this point. But as soon as he calls the black women field bitches, they're bitches to her too. Okay? And in my eyes, this is what makes her comfortable representing Smoke and Stack and their financial interests to talking to the white vampires a little bit later on in the movie. She's like, "Oh, they'll talk to me. I can mess with them. I can figure them out and see if they would be willing to come up in here and spend money with y'all." Her comfort in representing them, representing the interests of the juke joint, which by the way is supposed to be a by black people, for black people establishment that she has no fucking part in, that is the catalyst. That not only gets her turned into a vampire, but that gets her invited in that space and eventually killing and turning Stack, which then turns a whole bunch of other black people and ensues the chaos and the violence that happens. And this is what we be saying to y'all, that validating white people's anti-black bias, especially when you fraternize with those white people or you have relationships with them, it only invites more disrespect and violence into the black community because you've created a conduit into the black community by making them feel comfortable respecting or disrespecting black women. You've made them comfortable with proximity and representation in the black community. And that ultimately is our downfall.